Hello, I'm Shivani, and I'll be presenting a session on Azure Pipeline today. But before going through this, let's first go through the knowledge certificates. Join the session 5 minutes prior to the session start time. We start on time and conclude on time. Make sure to submit a constructive feedback for all session as it is very helpful for the presenter. Keep your mobile devices in silent mode. Feel free to move out of the session in case you need to attend an urgent call. Avoid unwanted chit chat during the session. So the topics we'll be covering today includes introduction to Azure Pipeline. What is Azure Pipeline? Why use Azure Pipeline for CI/CD? Features of Azure Pipeline, then benefits of Azure Pipeline, and popular alternatives. And then we'll see a demo about getting started with Azure Pipeline. So Azure Pipeline is a cloud-based continuous integration and delivery service provided by Microsoft. So basically, Azure Pipeline is a cloud service that we can use to build and test our code project. Also, it supports all major language and project types and combines continuous integration, continuous delivery, and continuous testing to build, test, and then deliver your code to any destination. With Azure Pipeline, you can automate the entire software development lifecycle from code commit to production deployment. Basically, it lets the developer enable to build, test, and deploy application across different platforms and languages. It basically supports a popular version control system like Git, Subversion, Bitbucket, etc. And also, it integrates with various third-party tools such as Jenkins, Docker, and Kubernetes. It is an additional service provided by Azure that has an automated set of procedures that assist programmers in compiling, establishing, and deploying code on other computing platforms. It is a part of the Azure DevOps suite of tools and services designed to help development teams automate their software development testing and deployment process. Um, Azure Pipeline enables organization to build, test, and deploy application more efficiently and reliably. So basically, there are three key distinct advantages of using Azure DevOps pipeline. Version control system, basically, since Azure Pipelines integrate repos, Bitbucket Cloud, and Subversion, then language and application type, we can use Azure Pipeline with most of the application type and languages such as Java, JavaScript, Node.js, Python, .NET, C++, etc. And then deployment target. We can use Azure Pipeline to deploy our code to multiple targets, where target signifies container registries, virtual machines, Azure services, or any on-premise or cloud target. So why use Azure Pipeline for CI/CD? Integration with the Azure ecosystem. So Azure Pipeline integrates with other Azure service and tools. So you can easily deploy application to Azure infrastructure. Use Azure DevOps for project management and leverage Azure services for testing and monitoring. Then multi-platform and language support. So it is not limited to Microsoft technologies. It also supports a wide range of programming languages and whether if you are developing a .NET Java program or anything, Azure Pipeline can accommodate your need. Then flexibility with YAML and Visual Designer. So Azure Pipeline provides flexibility in defining your CI/CD workflow. You can use YAML-based configuration files, or you can use the Visual Designer for a more graphical approach. Then scalability. It basically scales easily to handle projects of various sizes. You can run multiple pipelines concurrently, and Microsoft hosted agents are available for running your CI/CD jobs. Then security and compliance. It offers security features include role-based access control, secure connection to source code, repositories, and secret management. It can help organization meet compliance requirements such as GDPR through access control and auditing. Then artifact management. It provides artifact management capabilities, allowing you to store and version artifacts generated during your build process. Basically, it makes easy to distribute and deploy your application package across various environments. Advanced deployment strategies. Sorry. Uh, it supports advanced deployment strategies such as blue-green deployment, canary release, and feature flags. So basically, it minimizes the downtime and risk when rolling out a new version of your application. Monitoring and reporting. Um, the services offers detailed logs and reporting, helping you track the status of your CI/CD pipeline. So you can monitor the performance of your build and deployment, making it easier to identify and resolve your issues. Extensibility, it means you can customize your CI/CD pipeline to suit your specific requirements, like by adding tools and services that your team requires. Then cost efficiency, Azure Pipeline offers a wide variety of pricing plans, including a free tier for open source project and small teams. You only pay for the resources and agents that you will use in your project, which can be more cost effective than managing your own CI/CD infrastructure. Community and support. It basically has a large and active user community, and you can find various resources, tutorials, and community contributed extension to enhance your CI/CD process. Also, for the support, Microsoft provides support option and enterprise for enterprise customers. Then for features of Azure Pipeline offers a wide range of features that make it an ideal choice for modern software development teams. One of its key strengths is the ability to create custom workflow that fit your specific needs. You can define multiple stages and tasks, set up triggers and conditions, and use pre-built template to speed up the process. Another advantage of Azure Pipeline is its support for multiple platforms and languages. So whether if you're developing a application using Node.js or a mobile app, you can use Azure Pipeline to build and deploy your code. Then benefits of Azure Pipeline, it can help you increase the speed and efficiency of your software development process by automating repetitive tasks and reducing manual errors. You can deliver new features and updates to your customer faster than ever before. Azure Pipeline also promotes collaboration and transparency among team members. Basically, it is with the help of built-in version control system and code review features. Like developers can easily share their work and get feedback from their team, which later on leads to the better code quality and fewer bugs. Some alternatives of Azure pipelines are Jenkins, Travis, Circle CI, GitLab CI/CD, and GitHub Actions. So for the demo, before starting with the demo, first let's see how we can run the Azure DevOps pipeline on a self-hosted agent. So for that, let's go to the project. We need to select our project and then go to the project settings and then to the agent pool. we'll be creating a new agent pool, and this will be a self-hosted one. You can name it anything, and then grant the access permission to all pipelines. Then let's create a new agent here. So since it's a Linux-based system, we'll be following these steps. If yours is a Windows or Mac OS, you can follow these. So I've already downloaded the agent. We'll just need to run these commands. So this will be creating a new directory, my agent. So let's run the configuration file. So it is asking for this enter server URL. The server URL is this URL. It will ask for an authentication type. We'll be using a PAT token. So to create a personal access token, we need to go to this user setting and click on the personal access token. We can create a new token. It will ask for your organization if you want it for the all accessible organization. Then you can provide the scope, uh, whether you want it for the work item, whether you want it read write. We'll be providing a full access. Then create. So I've already created one. So I won't be using this one. We'll be using the same pack token which I created previously. It will ask you for the agent pool, which is here. The name of the agent pool is this one. In our case, you can name anything, but we'll be using the same one. It will then ask you for the work folder. It will be saving the settings. Now for the next command, we just need to run this configuration. And now it's listening for the job. If you go back, so your this agent is online. We'll be using the previous agent which we created. This one is online. So now let's go to the pipeline. So to create a new pipeline, you just need to select new pipeline and you need to tell the Azure DevOps portal where your code is present. So ours is on GitHub. It asks for login, but since I've already done it, it will show me the repositories I have. And it asks whether you want to use a built-in step like Docker step. It is for build a Docker image. Then we have a build-in push an image to Azure Container Registry. And there are more steps, or whether you want to start with the minimal pipeline that you can customize. And you can add your code. For our case, I've already created a new pipeline. Okay. So what does this pipeline do? It will create a Docker container and will create a Docker image and then push it to the ACR. So for that, we need to have a ACR already created. So to create an ACR, you can go to the container registry and create a new one. It will ask for the subscription, the resource group you want to use, and the name. And then it will ask for the networking and other details. But we have a created one, so we'll be using this registry. So in this pipeline, we are passing in the variables for Docker Container Registry Service Connection. To create a service connection, you need to go to the object setting, then service connection, and create a new service connection. It will ask you for which one you want. Like we want for the Docker registry. And then it will ask for the authentication type. You can select service principal or manage service identity, and then it will ask you for the name and you can provide the access permissions. It will ask you for, if you select manage service identity, then it will ask you for the subscription ID for our subscription. This will be the ID, and then the service subscription name, the tenant ID. You can go to this access keys, and login server name is the same one, the service connection name, and the permission you want. We'll be using this one. So to get the Docker registry service connection ID, if you go to your service connection, you see a resource ID present here. So we are using the same ID. And then it asks for the image repository, which name you want your Docker image to go, and then the Docker file path. This is our repository, and our Docker file is present in the app directory, and it is here. So we have provided the same path, the tag, and for the first stage, it is building the build and publish stage, and it asks for the pool name. So this is the same name of the agent pool which we created here, the local agent pool. And it will install the Docker, and we are providing the Docker version. Then for the next command, we are building and publishing the image to the container registry. It asks for the command. For container registry, it is using this variable, which is referring to this ID. And for the repository, it is referring to this name. And for Docker file path and tag, we don't require this one. Let's save it. Will take some time. Till it is whether we can see the previous line. So it will check out the repository which we are using. Then it will install the Docker installer, and it is installing the Docker version which we have provided. Then the build and publish image to the Azure container registry which we have given. In this, it is following the steps which are provided in the Docker file. And if we go, okay, now it's done. If we go back to the container registry and go to our repositories, we can see a new tag being created at 353. So this is the pipeline which will be creating, which is basically pushing the Docker image to the ACR. And for the other pipeline, so it's just a simple pipeline which is installing Node.js, and it is running the npm pack and run command. And this one is also crashed. So that was pretty much from my side. So anyone has any question? No, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, if no one has the question, can we wrap up?
Shivani, I mean, if you can brief step-wise, first step, second step, maybe you need not to, let's say, explain it in detail, okay? But from application deployment perspective, right? Can you list the step? The first step is this one, right? Second is this.
So for the pipeline, where we were pushing the Docker image to the ACR. So Azure provides you with the steps, right? So first one is like it is using the agent pool and it is installing the Docker installer there. This is the first step. And the
Okay.
second task it is doing, it is building and publishing the image to the Azure container registry, which we are providing. So
Okay.
this is the second step.
Cool.
And other part is taken care by Azure itself.
Mhm. So first we need to just create this pipeline. Okay. I mean
Yeah.
the deployment program that you written, right? And
Mhm.
then need to configure on that container registry, right?
Yes.
To access
And
it.
you need to have a Docker file also for the image you want to create.
Yeah. Yes. That's a part of code itself, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Because we are passing the path of the Docker file here, and it is present in our repository also.
Yeah. Cool. Nice.
Okay,
Thanks, Shivani.
thank you. Okay, then we can wrap up. Thank you, everyone.